All right, let's embark on a Himalayan adventure today.
Sounds exciting.
We're diving deep into the Kedarnath Yatra.
The pilgrimage to that sacred Hindu temple high in the mountains.
You've got it.
I'm
You
right.
guys set us 2 guides, one on booking helicopters.
And one for trekking to the temple.
Right.
So this is like a prep session.
Yeah, consider this your personal prep session for planning your own trip.
For sure, covering everything.
Covering how to get there.
The logistics.
And even
the spiritual side of it.
Exactly, the spiritual significance of this whole journey.
Interesting how these guides offer 2 distinct paths.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
2 very different ways to get to the same place.
2 very different.
One's all about modern efficiency. The other is more about a traditional,
physically demanding.
physically demanding,
Pilgrimage.
Yeah.
For those who prioritize efficiency, I mean, maybe they have physical limitations.
Right.
The helicopter route just seems to make a lot of sense.
Seems like the way to go.
But before we get into all that, why?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Why can't helicopters fight directly from Gaurikund?
Yeah.
That's the traditional starting point for the trek.
Right.
That's a great question.
What's going on with that? It seems like the terrain
Yeah.
and the altitude around there make
pretty-
it pretty unsuitable for safe helicopter operations.
I see. So you can't just fly out of Gaurikund.
Right. So instead, pilgrims fly from nearby helipads.
Okay, so they got to get to these other places.
Right. Interesting. Like Phata, Sersi, and Guptkashi. Each one's got its own
Each one has its own what?
pros and cons.
Yeah, what kind of pros and cons are we talking about?
In terms of cost,
Okay.
distance,
Okay.
and just
Accessibility?
yeah, how easy it is to get there.
So you got to pick your poison.
Kind of.
Choose your preferred launch pad for this.
It's like choosing your launch pad.
Spiritual adventure.
For this spiritual adventure, yeah.
Okay.
And then
you got to choose who's flying you.
yeah, you've got your launch
The
pad.
things you pick.
Now, who are you flying with?
The guides mentioned.
There are a bunch of different operators.
Yeah, like Pawanon's, Thumbi Aviation, Himalayan Healy Service.
You've got Aero Aviation, Aryan Aviation,
That's the
Transbharat.
Wow.
Lots of options. What are the differences?
Yeah, what are the key differences between them?
Well, all of them are authorized to fly to Kedarnath,
Of course.
but
But
there's safety records,
okay, that's about
platform number service,
That makes sense.
even the types of helicopters.
Interesting.
It all varies.
So do your research.
Yeah, it's worth doing a little research.
Yeah, find one that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, find one that aligns with
Exactly.
your priorities,
Yeah.
gives you that peace of mind.
Especially on a trip as meaningful as this.
Right.
Yeah, to avoid scams and just to ensure a smooth booking process. The guides really emphasize booking through the official IRCTC website.
Right, the official website.
Or authorized agents like helicopterbooking.org.
Absolutely. Stick with the authorized places.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about fares.
Okay, let's talk money.
How much is this going to cost?
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
The round trip from Phata to Kedarnath
Okay.
is about 5,500 rupees.
All right.
Sersi is 5,498 rupees.
That's slightly cheaper.
A little bit cheaper.
Okay.
And Guptkashi, 7,740 does.
That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay.
But keep in mind,
Yeah.
these prices can change.
Of course, they're just estimates.
Yeah, just
So
estimate.
always check the latest
It's always good to double check.
on the official website.
Yeah,
Always good to know the latest
absolutely.
to help you budget accordingly.
For sure.
So once you've chosen your helipad,
Right.
you've chosen your operator,
You've got those picked out.
what's the actual booking process look like?
Well, it's pretty straightforward.
Oh, good.
You register on the platform,
Okay.
select your route and the date you want
Yes.
to put in your personal details, make
Yeah.
the payment,
Uh-huh.
and then boom, you get a confirmation.
Straightforward.
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
The sources do point out one thing, though.
What's that?
You got to have a printed copy of your ticket
Oh, interesting.
and a valid ID.
So no digital.
No digital copies. They won't
Yeah.
accept them for boarding.
Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah.
Don't want anything to delay your trip.
Nope. No delays.
Speaking of delays,
Yeah.
anything about the flight schedule and operations that we should know?
Well,
Yeah.
flights typically start around 6:30 a.m. from Phata.
Okay, early?
Early start.
Got it.
Imagine this. You're in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Sun's rising.
Beautiful.
You've got these incredible views
I can picture.
of the Himalayas.
Wow.
During this 9-minute flight,
It's only 9 minutes.
9 minutes to Kedarnath,
Wow.
each helicopter
Yeah.
usually takes 5 to 6 passengers.
Okay, so it's a small
Pretty intimate.
group.
Yeah, and small creates a sense of, I don't know,
Yeah.
all anticipation, shared experience.
Yeah.
You're all in this together.
Inspiring way to start this pilgrimage.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
There is a limit, though, of 6 passengers per ticket
Right.
and only 2 tickets per account.
That's important for the larger groups.
That's what I was thinking.
If you're traveling with more than 12 people,
Yeah,
you're going to need to use multiple accounts
makes sense.
to make sure everyone can fly together.
That's a key detail.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Now,
But those seeking a more
for those who want,
traditional,
Yeah.
physically demanding experience,
right, they want the challenge.
there's always the trekking option.
You can always what can you tell us about that?
The 16-kilometer trek from Gaurikund.
Okay.
It's considered profoundly spiritual by many.
Wow.
You're surrounded by the beauty of the Himalayas. Yeah.
And every step you take is bringing you closer to the sacred temple.
Wow. What a thought.
It's a journey
Yeah.
of self-discovery.
That makes
A
sense.
metaphor
Yeah.
for the spiritual path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say this trek is difficult?
It's challenging,
Yeah.
but achievable
Okay.
for those who are reasonably fit,
Okay.
prepared.
So you got to be in decent shape.
Got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
It's broken down into segments.
Okay.
You start with a 4-kilometer,
Yeah.
moderately difficult stretch
Okay. 4 kilometers.
from Gaurikund
Okay.
to Jungle Chatti,
To Jungle Chatty.
and then it's on to Bhimbali,
in Bali.
another 3 kilometers,
Another 3.
with a gradual ascent.
So this gets a little harder.
Yeah, a little steeper.
Okay.
From Bhimbali to Lincholi,
Linchol.
climb gets steeper,
Oh, boy.
over 4 kilometers.
4 kilometers.
But the path is well marked,
That's good.
and you've got those stunning views
Keeps you going.
to keep you motivated.
Nice.
And the final stretch,
Yeah.
4 kilometers
4 more.
from Lintoli
Okay.
to the Kedarnath base camp.
That's the end.
That's where you end up.
Right. I'm curious about the facilities along the trek.
Oh, yeah.
Are there places to rest,
Of
to
course.
eat, get supplies?
It's well supported.
Okay, that's good.
You'll find accommodation,
Oh,
food stalls,
Right.
water
But
sources,
good.
medical posts,
In case something
just in case, and even pony or palanquin services
Wow.
for those who need a little help.
So you can ride.
You can get a ride.
Interesting.
It's challenging, yes,
Yeah.
but not without support.
That's good to know.
And of course, you've got that camaraderie
Yes, that's probably pretty special.
among your fellow trekkers.
Exactly.
That's a special part of the experience.
It's amazing how this journey caters to different needs
Right.
and preferences.
It's amazing.
Some want the efficiency of a helicopter.
Yeah, get me there quick.
Others want the
Others want the challenge.
physical and spiritual challenge of the track.
That's right.
And no matter which path you choose,
Yeah.
you got to register for the Kedarnath Yatra
You gotta register.
on the Uttarakhand government portal.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
It's important to highlight
Yes.
that Kedarnath is at a high altitude.
How high are we talking?
3,583 meters.
That's high.
Yeah.
Altitude sickness is a real concern.
A real concern.
Ro.
See a doctor
Yeah.
before you go
Good advice.
and acclimatize properly.
when you get there.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
we've talked about Phata as
Yeah.
a helipad option,
as one option.
but the guys also mentioned Sersi and Guptkashi.
Right.
What are the key differences between these alternatives?
Well, Sersi is about 22 kilometers from Kedarnath.
okay.
And a round-trip helicopter ride from there
Yeah.
costs around 5,498 logo,
Okay.
while Guptkashi is farther,
Much farther.
46 kilometers.
Okay, so it's twice as far.
Twice as far, and the round trip from there
Yeah.
is about 7,740 rights.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Farther you go,
It's going to cost you a bit more.
more expensive.
Yeah.
They offer flexibility
Right, they give you more options.
for pilgrims coming from different locations.
Exactly.
And they might have different levels of
They might have different,
traffic.
traffic or availability.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
Interesting.
choosing the right helipad
Yeah.
often comes down to
Personal preference,
personal preference.
budget,
Budget.
and the overall logistics of your trip.
Exactly.
So whether you choose the helicopter or the trek,
Right.
registering
Register.
for the pilgrimage,
Uh-huh.
understanding
And understand
the potential
a
challenges.
high altitude.
Those are crucial steps
Those are key.
in preparing for this journey.
Absolutely.
But I have a feeling there's a lot more to this pilgrimage
I think so.
than just the logistics of getting there.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
There's a deeper side to this.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting there.
That's what we're going to explore next.
Let's dive into that.
Let's dive into the spiritual significance of this ancient pilgrimage.
All right, let's do it.
In part 2,
Part 2 coming up.
welcome back to our deep dive into the Kedarnath Yatra.
We covered a lot in part 1
Yeah, we really did.
about how to actually get there.
The practical stuff.
Yeah. All
But
right.
now I want to get into
Now we get to the good stuff.
the deeper meaning
The spiritual significance.
of this whole pilgrimage.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
I'm excited for this.
It's amazing how these guides weave in the practical stuff, these insights into the spiritual heart
That's what I noticed too.
of the journey.
It's like they're saying,
It's like they're saying, here's how to plan your trip,
yeah,
but here's also why this matters.
on a deeper level.
On a soul level.
I love it. It reminds me of
What does it remind you of?
when I was hiking in the mountains
Yeah.
and I just felt this
You felt this what?
incredible sense of peace
Uh-huh.
and connection with nature.
I know that feeling.
It made me realize that
Yeah.
sometimes the most profound experiences
What do you mean?
happen when we step outside our comfort zones
Yeah.
and connect with something bigger than ourselves.
Something larger than ourselves. And that's what the Kedarnath Yatra offers.
That's what I'm thinking.
It offers that opportunity.
Yeah.
The guides emphasize planning,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're flying or trekking.
Okay.
And packing smart for the high altitude.
What does that mean?
Well,
packing smart.
For the unpredictable weather.
Oh, yeah. The weather in the Himalayas can be crazy.
It can change in an instant. Layered clothing, a waterproof jacket.
For sure.
Sturdy shoes. Don't forget your health supplies.
Like what?
Personal medications.
Okay.
First aid kit.
In case.
Altitude sickness tablets.
That's important.
Very important.
At that altitude.
Yeah.
And a flashlight, a power bank for your electronics.
Definitely.
A usable water bottle.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And of course, a camera to capture it all.
You got to have the camera.
Those views.
Yeah.
Unforgettable.
Preparation is key to a safe and enjoyable pilgrimage.
It makes such a difference.
But beyond the physical preparations, the guides also talk about
what else?
Mental and spiritual readiness.
Right. It's not just about the gear.
So how do you prepare mentally and spiritually?
Well, they highlight respecting local customs and traditions.
Like what kind of things?
Dressing modestly.
Makes sense.
Being mindful of your behavior.
Yeah.
And avoiding anything disrespectful.
Okay.
It's about approaching this with humility. And sensitivity.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Honoring the sacredness of this place. And the beliefs of the people.
The people who make this journey?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The guides also encourage pilgrims.
To what?
To really delve into the myths and legends.
Associated with Kedarnath?
Associated with Kedarnath.
Into that. I love those stories.
Those stories add another layer of meaning.
To the whole experience?
To the experience, for instance.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Oh, yeah.
Transforming into a bull.
To escape the Pandavas?
Right. To evade the Pandavas.
Yeah.
And they say, his hump formed the very ground where the Kedarnath temple stands.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a powerful story.
It really is. It speaks to
faith, forgiveness, and the mysterious ways of the divine.
Yeah.
How does that story resonate with you? On a personal level?
I've always been fascinated.
By what?
By the Pandavas' story.
Yeah.
They were flawed heroes.
Yeah. They were devoted to their dharna.
Right.
Their journey to Kedarnath reflects this human desire.
What desire?
To seek redemption.
Yeah.
To find peace after hardship.
It's a universal desire.
It makes me think about...
What does it make you think about?
Times in my own life when I've struggled with guilt or regret.
We've all been there.
Seeking forgiveness has been so crucial.
It's a part of growth.
For my own growth.
Your personal growth.
Absolutely.
And that connects to this theme.
What theme?
Of transformation.
Transformation.
Yeah, that runs through these guides.
Okay.
The trek itself, with its challenges, is a metaphor.
For what?
For the spiritual journey.
Interesting.
Every step you take is a step closer to self-discovery.
I like that.
A deeper connection with the divine.
Even for those who choose the helicopter.
Right, even if you're not tracking.
The experience of soaring above the Himalayas.
Yeah.
It can evoke.
What do you think it evokes?
This sense of awe and wonder.
Awe and wonder. I agree.
It puts things into perspective.
It reminds you of your place.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Speaking of the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
The guides highlight Kedarnath as one of the 12 Jyotirlingas.
Right, the Jyotirlingas.
Can you explain what that
means? Of course, for those who don't know.
In Hindu mythology, a Jyotirlinga represents...
What does it represent?
A radiant manifestation of Lord Shiva.
Okay.
Each of the 12 scattered across India are incredibly sacred.
So each one is like a portal.
Yeah, like a unique portal.
To connect with Shiva's energy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Kedarnath in particular symbolizes Shiva's cosmic power.
Okay.
His eternal presence.
Wow.
And his role as the destroyer.
The destroyer of what?
Of ignorance and negativity.
I like that.
It's pretty powerful.
It's interesting how these guides...
encourage us to go beyond the surface.
What do you mean?
To explore the deeper meanings.
Right. It's not just a checklist.
Of this ancient tradition.
It's not just about checking it off your list.
It's not just about getting there.
You got to understand it.
Yeah, understanding the historical, mythological,
spiritual significance.
It's all connected.
Absolutely.
Speaking of significance, the guides emphasize respecting the environment.
Oh, that's so important.
Engaging responsibly with this place.
Yeah.
It's a place of immense beauty.
It is.
Spiritual significance.
We have to preserve it.
We have to preserve
for future generations.
For the future.
Yeah. So, being mindful of waste.
Yes, be mindful.
Avoiding littering.
No littering.
Using refillable water bottles.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
And respecting wildlife.
Yeah.
Not disturbing the natural habitat.
It's about leaving it.
Leaving it
pristine.
Pristine, exactly as you found it.
Yeah.
It makes me think of
for service.
Right.
An important part of Hindu spirituality.
How does that relate?
Well, it's not just about taking a pilgrimage for yourself.
Right.
It's about contributing to the well-being of the place and the people...
The people we meet.
The people you encounter.
It's a beautiful connection.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It leads us to another important aspect.
What's that?
Connecting with fellow pilgrims.
Yes, the community.
It's amazing how
Yeah, what about it?
this shared experience, this journey of faith,
Yeah.
it fosters...
What does it foster?
A sense of community.
What does it foster?
Shared purpose.
You're all in it together.
Yeah, I imagine it's easy to strike up conversations.
I bet.
With people.
Yeah.
Share stories.
Share your experiences.
Offer support along the way.
Absolutely. You're all on this journey together.
It's a reminder that we're all part of something...
Something bigger than ourselves. These connections.
Yeah.
Can have a lasting impact.
I bet.
On your life.
It's like the journey itself.
It's like...
becomes a microcosm of the world.
Yeah, a little world.
We can practice compassion.
Compassion.
Kindness, understanding.
All those good things.
It's a powerful reminder.
What is it a reminder?
That our spiritual journey is not meant to be solitary.
It's a shared experience.
It enriches us all.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So let's talk about...
shift gears a bit.
Yeah.
And talk about some practical stuff like food and a combination.
Yeah, that's important.
Got to take care of the body and the soul.
We need to nourish ourselves.
Absolutely.
During this pilgrimage.
Kedarnath has...
What kind of options?
A variety of options, from basic lodgings to more comfortable hotels.
So there's a range.
There's a range.
The guides recommend booking in advance.
Especially during peak season.
That makes sense. It can get crowded.
It's busy.
You wouldn't want to arrive...
Imagine arriving...
after a long journey.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to stay.
That would be a nightmare.
And when it comes to food...
Yeah.
What do the guides suggest?
They suggest trying the local delicacies.
I love trying new foods.
Me too.
What are some dishes pilgrims should look out for?
Well, Kedarnath is known for its simple cuisine.
Okay.
But it's very flavorful.
Okay.
They use fresh local ingredients.
Nice.
You can't go wrong with Garhwali dishes.
Like what?
Like kappa.
What's that?
It's a hearty lentil-based curry.
Oh, that sounds good.
Or fanu.
What's that?
A type of lentil pancake.
It would sound delicious.
And if you prefer something simpler, you can always find roti,
rice,
the staple,
and dal.
And of course a cup of hot chai.
With those views.
Amidst the breathtaking scenery.
It's the little things that make it special.
Absolutely.
Speaking of special, it's important to remember the high altitude environment.
Safety is key.
We've talked about acclimatizing and taking medications, but
what else?
Are there any other safety tips?
The weather in the Himalayas can be unpredictable.
We've talked about that.
So be prepared.
Be prepared.
For those sudden changes. Pack those layers.
That's layers.
Waterproof jacket.
What about emergencies?
Yeah, good point.
Are there communication networks?
Mobile networks can be patchy.
Ooh, that's not good.
But there are usual ways to stay connected.
Okay.
It's wise to inform someone.
Inform someone of it.
Yeah, your itinerary.
So we know where you are.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Check in regularly.
Yeah.
Let people know you're okay.
And what about safety on the trek itself?
Yeah, that's important too.
Yeah.
Stick to the market trails.
Don't go wandering off.
No wandering.
Okay.
Start a trek early.
Why early?
To avoid afternoon storms.
Oh, good point.
And let someone know your route.
In case something happens.
Just in case.
So they can find you.
Exactly.
It's about being prepared.
It's about being prepared.
For the challenges.
Yeah, those challenges
that might arise.
That might come up.
On the journey.
On the journey.
It's about respecting nature.
Respect nature.
Yeah.
And taking steps.
To stay safe.
To ensure a safe journey.
A fulfilling journey.
Yeah.
It's inspiring how these guides
I agree.
Blend practical advice with a deeper message.
A deeper message of what?
The respect and responsibility.
They're saying plan your trip.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey.
But
mindful.
Be mindful of
your impact.
On the environment.
And leave
a positive footprint.
Leave it better than you found it.
That's a beautiful message.
It really is.
To carry with us.
In all aspects of life.
Not just on this pilgrimage.
Absolutely. It applies everywhere.
Welcome back to our final deep dive into the Kedarnath Yatra.
It's been a journey.
It really has.
From helicopters to packing lists to ancient stories.
We've covered a lot.
We've explored so much.
But there's still more to uncover.
There is.
Especially when it comes to...
To what?
The lasting impact.
The impact of this pilgrimage.
Yeah. These guides.
They're not just about getting you there. They're about how you carry the experience with you.
I'm ready to dive into that.
Let's do it.
What do the guides say about the long-term effects of the Kedarnath Yatra?
One thing that stands out is this profound sense of peace.
Peace.
And renewal. That people feel.
Makes sense.
You're combining
what?
Physical exertion.
Okay.
Breathtaking scenery. And that deep spiritual atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like a recipe for inner transformation.
Even the challenges.
Can lead to a sense of accomplishment. Resilience.
Like you pushed your boundary.
And you realize you're stronger. You're stronger than you thought.
The guides also talk about the serenity.
The serenity of the temple itself.
Yeah, nestled amidst those peaks.
It fosters reflection.
Like a sanctuary.
A sanctuary from the noise.
From the noise of everyday life.
Exactly.
A place to reconnect.
To reconnect with yourself.
And what truly matters.
There's also this recurring emphasis on gratitude.
Gratitude.
People describe...
What do they describe?
Deeper appreciation.
The simple things.
For the simple things in life.
After this experience?
It's hard not to feel that.
When you're surrounded by that beauty. And immersed in that atmosphere.
Shakes your perspective.
It really does.
And that shift...
leads to what?
A renewed sense of purpose.
Purpose and direction.
Yeah.
It's like the journey becomes a mirror.
A mirror reflecting what's important.
The spiritual teachings?
Those teachings.
The stories.
The rituals.
They offer guidance.
Guidance and inspiration.
For navigating life's challenges.
And then there are those connections.
The connections you make.
With fellow pilgrims.
Yeah.
Those bonds.
So powerful.
Reminding us that we're all in this together.
I love that.
The diversity of people.
From all walks of life.
All walks of life.
It speaks to
the universal nature of spiritual seeking.
It doesn't matter your background.
Your beliefs.
The Kedarnath Yatra offers a space for growth.
The guides also highlight...
They highlight what?
The rituals and traditions.
Those ancient traditions?
They offer a tangible way.
A way to connect with ancient wisdom.
And like stepping back in time.
Tapping into those practices.
Passed down for generations.
For many.
It's a turning point.
A moment of transformation.
Renewal.
That stays with them.
Long after they return.
It's incredible how it shapes perspectives.
Influences choices.
The beauty of it is.
The guides provide the information.
The insight.
But the real journey unfolds within
each individual.
So, what calls to your heart? What kind of transformation are you seeking?
Is it the challenge of the trek?
The beauty of the Himalayas?
The spiritual solace of the temple?
Or maybe the connections you'll make?
We encourage you.
Take what you've learned
from this deep dive.
And embark on your own journey.
To Kedarnath.
May it be filled with peace.
Joy and profound transformation.
Until next time.
Keep exploring.
Keep seeking.
And keep diving deep.